Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I am Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. Coming to you from Washington's nicest indoor shooting facility. Of course, that is Security Gun Club here in Woodinville, Washington. But I want to go back all the way across the other side of the country. Got to talk to New Jersey again. Now, listen, New Jersey, you know this. You and like many other states suffered from this horrible phenomenon last summer, which was called the post-Bruin meltdown. This is when your state effectively crapped its pants after the New York Pistol and Rifle Association v. Bruin and decided, oh yeah, watch this, and you went out and passed far more restrictive and unconstitutional gun laws. Now, New York, of course, was the greatest offender of it, but New Jersey, you were a close second, and that has led to lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit. One of the things that has not been the subject of a lawsuit yet, though, was going to be this new training requirement that New Jersey came up with, you know, to make sure that everyone was going to be saving lives out there. Well, that training requirement is finally out, and let me tell you something. It is a doozy, and it is going to open a whole Pandora's box of new court challenges. So today, let's spend a few minutes and let's talk about the state that will only give a carry license to John Wick. Okay, so here's what we're talking about today. New Jersey, as we know, following Bruin, decided to get all the state legislators back into session. Let's pass a bunch of emergency laws, and up comes all of these new restrictive gun control measures. The entire state of New Jersey became a sensitive place overnight. Amazing. One of the other requirements, and it was supposed to be published on July 1st, was what was going to be all the new training requirements for those who have the audacity to want to get a concealed carry license. They were finally published the third week of July, better late than never, and they are out, and it has many people raising their eyebrows because the training requirements for the average citizen to qualify to get a New Jersey concealed carry license is going to be identical to what retired law enforcement officers must do in order to keep their certification. Now, I am, and let's this out on the record, we here at Washington Gun Law are absolute huge proponents of training. There is no such thing as being overtrained, okay? And we believe that lawful and responsible gun ownership starts with training and oftentimes continues through training. However, and this is the big however, to suggest that training be mandated before you exercise an inalienable right, well, that's not how the Founding Fathers set this country up to work. And I oftentimes use the voting example. When at any time one of my gun-grabbing friends who doesn't know what they're talking about says, well, we ought to have more training before people can do this, I ask, well, would you want the same thing for voting? And candidly, when you take a look at the election results here in Washington State and in the state of New Jersey, I think that both of the electorates probably should go through mandatory training. What the response always is, well, voting doesn't kill people, an au contraire, because you can ask any of the families of the 13 service members killed in that horrific withdrawal from Afghanistan if votes mattered. You could ask any family who lost a loved one during the Second Gulf War or during Vietnam if votes mattered, because yeah, votes do kill. So that's the absurdity of this law. But the real absurdity is when you actually get into the training curriculum, because see, we actually pulled it up and looked at it, okay? And you're not gonna believe what you're gonna need to do in order to qualify for the privilege of being able to protect your life, okay? The training includes this. There is shooting from as far out as 25 yards. Now, think about it, that's 75 feet with a handgun. That is A, not the easiest shot in the world, and two, there is rarely a self-defense situation which warrants lethal force that's going to occur outside 50, 70 feet like they're suggesting here. But there's a lot more. And so what I'm going to show you is some of the training requirements so you can see just how absurd this really is. And I can assure you, the pass rate is going to be really low if in fact these are the requirements. Total of 50 rounds per participant. To achieve a passing score of 80%, the participant must place a minimum of 40 shots within the border of the Q target silhouette. And they are using the traditional FBI Q target silhouette. Now, seems like, well, okay, you just stand at the line and fire 50 rounds, you put 40 on the target, you're good to go. Oh, no. There is a lot more. Yeah, because if you take a look at the curriculum, you'll see that while shooting from 25 yards and having to put those shots on target, this is a timed event. You have a very limited amount of time. What else is included? Oh, kneeling and shooting, okay? Shooting from the kneeled position. Again, rare that you're ever going to be dealing with that in a self-defense situation. And both strong hand and weak hand shooting, one hand shooting as well. So there is curriculum requirements in here where you must demonstrate shooting one-handed with your strong hand and shooting one-handed with your weak hand. There are also time drills that are going to involve you being able to pull from a holster, shoot, reload, shoot again, and reholster all in limited time. Now again, as we stated, these are all wonderful fundamentals that every single person should know. But should they be a requirement before you get to exercise the inalienable right? Therein lies the problem. Now, the good news is that for those of you who've been following this ridiculous storm of new legislation in New Jersey, you will recall that there were multiple lawsuits, most of which had to deal with many of the other ridiculous components of this legislation. Now, some of those lawsuits ended up getting consolidated into the Third Circuit Court of Appeals, and some of the other appeals were actually administratively dismissed while the other cases took the lead. There are several plaintiffs' attorneys now who have asked for those cases to be reopened, the ones that were administratively dismissed, so that they could file new pleadings, new complaints alleging new constitutional violations. And the best news is the judge is allowing them to do so. So we're going to see a whole new set of pleadings. We're going to see a whole new set of lawsuits, and we're going to see a whole new motion for a temporary injunction coming after the state of New Jersey decided to finally publish their qualification standards. And candidly, this is a state that is only going to give a carry license to a person such as John Wick. Listen, you may have more questions about what's going on in New Jersey or anything else related to what's left of our Second Amendment rights. Now, you guys should know how to get a hold of Washington gun law by now, but if you don't, that's okay. That information is down there in the description box. In the meantime, I do want all of you to remember that part of being a lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time, is to know what the law is in every situation, how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching. Stay safe.